Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to talk about one of the most dramatic developments in the Russia-Ukraine war, the bold Ukrainian strike on the Crimean Bridge that left it burning and damaged. The incident has captured global attention not only because of its physical destruction but also because of the larger strategic and symbolic meaning attached to this bridge. To fully understand the depth of the situation, we must explore it in detail, looking at its outward impact, its internal significance, the way it performs in the war, the safety measures and their weaknesses, its unique selling points from a propaganda and strategic view, the cost involved, and the ultimate conclusion about what this event means for both sides and for the wider world. From the outside, the Crimean Bridge has always stood as a symbol of Russia's power and determination. Constructed to link mainland Russia directly to the Crimean Peninsula after its annexation in 2014, it was hailed by Moscow as proof that Crimea was permanently tied to Russia. Its long sweeping arches over the Kerch Strait were displayed in state media as engineering marvels and as an untouchable piece of infrastructure. But that external image has now been shattered. Flames engulfing the bridge painted a completely different picture, one of vulnerability and weakness. For Ukraine, the strike was a masterstroke in dismantling the aura of Russian invincibility. What once was a monument to strength is now a reminder that even Moscow's most guarded assets can be penetrated. Looking inside the matter, the bridge is not just concrete and steel but the lifeline for Russia's logistics. Its interior purpose is to carry the supplies that fuel Russia's ongoing war in southern Ukraine. Trains filled with ammunition, convoys transporting fuel, and trucks carrying food and heavy equipment all relied on this link. Once the strike hit, the interior flow of logistics was cut, forcing Russia to search for alternate routes that are longer, slower, and more vulnerable to further attacks. This inner disruption reveals the fragility of Moscow's supply network. It is as though the heart of the Russian campaign has suffered a direct blow, creating ripples that affect every military unit dependent on those deliveries. When examining performance, the impact becomes even clearer. Ukraine has demonstrated an impressive ability to conduct precision strikes deep inside areas Russia considered secure. The operation showed not only careful intelligence but also technological capacity to reach a high-profile target. On Russia's side, the performance of their military infrastructure looks increasingly weak. Supply delays will affect frontline units, and restoring the bridge will take time and resources. The momentum in this performance score leans toward Ukraine, proving that bold action combined with precise strategy can weaken even a much larger adversary. One of the most striking revelations comes from the so-called safety features of the bridge. Russia had invested heavily in protecting this asset, installing surveillance systems, anti-air defenses, and patrols across the strait. The bridge was marketed as one of the most secure pieces of infrastructure in the region. Yet all those layers of defense failed. The successful strike cut through every protection, showing that no fortress is impenetrable. This exposes deep flaws in Russia's security planning and leaves open the possibility that other supposedly protected assets could also be targeted in the future. For Ukraine and its allies, this is a confidence boost, proof that Russia's shield is not as strong as it claims to be. The unique selling points of this strike are as important as the physical damage itself. This was not only an attack on a bridge, it was an attack on Russia's pride. The flames were broadcast worldwide, symbolizing that Ukraine has the strength to strike at what Russia called untouchable. It has also energized Ukrainian morale at home, giving people hope that their fight is producing visible victories. Internationally, it signals to allies that Ukraine is capable of carrying out bold and effective operations, justifying continued support. The propaganda value is massive, turning the bridge into a symbol not of Russian control but of Russian vulnerability. When we talk about price, the calculation is heavily one-sided. For Russia, the cost of this strike is enormous. Billions will be needed to repair the structure, but even beyond money lies the true cost in lost time, rerouted supplies, and operational inefficiency. Every additional mile that trucks and trains have to travel adds strain on their military operations. For Ukraine, the cost of executing the strike was far smaller in comparison, making it an economically efficient operation with outsized results. The balance of cost and outcome is a textbook example of asymmetric warfare where a weaker power uses precision to inflict damage greater than its resources would normally allow. As the flames died down, the conclusion became unavoidable. This was more than an isolated attack, it was a turning point that blends symbolism, strategy, and psychological warfare. On the outside it tore down Russia's proud monument. On the inside it disrupted a vital supply artery. In performance terms it revealed Ukraine's growing capability and Russia's operational vulnerabilities. The safety systems that were supposed to protect the bridge failed, showing the weakness of Russian defenses. The unique selling point lies in the morale and propaganda impact, an achievement that inspired Ukraine and shook Russia's confidence. And in terms of cost, Russia shoulders the heavier burden while Ukraine gains maximum advantage with minimal resources. This strike has left Russia scrambling to patch up not only the bridge but its image and its logistics. It proves to the world that even a superpower can be humbled by carefully targeted actions. For Ukraine it is a statement of resilience, showing that boldness backed by strategy can create real change in a conflict where odds seem stacked against them. For the wider international audience it is a reminder that war is not only fought with numbers and weapons but also with symbols and psychological impact. The Crimean Bridge in flames will be remembered as more than an explosion, it will be remembered as a message. The message is clear: Russia is not untouchable, and Ukraine has the courage and capacity to strike where it hurts most. This event is therefore not just a chapter in the war but a moment that may shape the course of how both sides think, fight, and plan their next moves. It is a reminder that in modern warfare precision, timing, and psychological strength often outweigh sheer force. Ukraine's bold strike on the Crimean Bridge has cut more than a supply line, it has cut into the heart of Russia's confidence, and that may prove to be its most lasting impact.